is over.
Hello again, everybody, and this is Joe from the Insiders, and we are here with another interview from the community. Today, we have DJ B-Tazzy with us, man. Welcome to the show, and how are you doing today?
And thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys for having me on. By the way, before we start, congratulations on the 700 subs. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's been crazy. And again, I've done nothing but give shout outs and say thanks to everybody today, because it's just I never would have believed it in that amount of time that we have that we would have gotten there so quickly. So thank you. Yeah, really appreciate, and we appreciate you shouting us out. I know you mentioned our show and stuff on your show, and yeah, we really appreciate that as well.
Oh, man. Yeah, because we're a family. We're a family, and like family do, we help each other out. So
there you go. There you go. All right, man. Well, look, let's start out with a little bit about yourself. So I know we were kind of chatting about this a little bit before we started. I know everybody kind of wants to maybe get in your head a little bit, get to know you a little bit better. So tell the guys, because I know I caught a little bit of your show last night, and I know you had mentioned it was a little bit of a more somber show for you because you kind of knew that things are kind of getting back to normal for you, and you're going to have to be going back to work soon. And believe me, I know the feeling. It's been like that for me the last few weeks as well. And you don't have all the time in the world now. So I know you work for Major League Baseball, which is pretty awesome. And you work for the Oakland A's. So tell everybody, how did you get into that?
So this is like before April of 2003. My friend that actually worked for the Oakland A's told the boss I have now that, hey, I got this kid, which is funny. I got this kid. He loves the Oakland A's. Maybe you should bring him on to work in the clubhouse. So I'm like, and when I got the job, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I was starstruck that whole year, that whole 2003 year. It was like, deal with players. Like we had Miguel Tejada, we had Eric Chavez, we had the big three, of course, Cito, Boulder, and Hudson. Yep. It was a very interesting year, and to even get to the playoffs that year too, it's even more crazier.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I can imagine you'd be starstruck. Yeah, I mean, to be in, to be around them, to be like near the players and stuff that you only hear about on TV or see them on TV is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy when that is, and like you get to talk to them about life and stuff like that. It's like, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So we all know that baseball is starting again the end of July, I believe it is. So I'm guessing, life's going to be kind of going back to normal for you. So I mean, are you excited to get back? I know you're maybe a little bit sad because you can't do the stuff that you used to do before. And again, like I said, I've been going through this too. Jeff has as well. When normal life takes back over, it's like, oh man, I can't spend the time doing this fun stuff anymore.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what are your feelings on it? I would imagine you kind of have some mixed feelings about going back.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it just to get back because we've been raised since April. So it's like, being 3 months and like a couple of weeks ago, it didn't even look like it was going to happen. And now it's going to happen. It's like, okay. And basically, I'm, like I said, I'm excited, and then I'm like nervous as well too because everything that's going on and all the testing and stuff that we got to do to make sure we even have a season. I don't think they even test all the players yet, so that's gonna be a chore. It's going to be very interesting, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find a way to get all the content that I can out there. It's not going to be live most of the time. It's just going to be mostly pre-recorded, but by the time the baseball season is over, I will go back live. It's just I can't be live every single time I do a content from now on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's understandable. I mean, Jeff and I did the pre-recorded stuff for a good while.
Yeah.
I mean, and it works out fine. You know, sometimes you just got to do things according to your schedule, especially when you're back to work and you got to be there. It's tough to get that all done. So listen, I got to ask you about your name. Were you were you a DJ as well at some point? Because that is, again, I love talking to people who are in that business. Because again, I did it back when I was in college, and I actually, even as soon as about maybe 3 years ago, I still do it on the side every now and then for family gatherings, weddings, and all that kind of stuff too, and I love it. I absolutely love doing that. So did you do that as well? Was that a career choice maybe for you, or was that just something you always just enjoyed doing?
Yeah, well, we'll get to the name first, but because everybody's like, how do you get that name? That's kind of weird name. So when I was a kid, my late godmother set me in her room, and I used to tear up pieces of paper and throw it on the floor, just out of the blue. And she was like, "You Tasmanian devil! If you don't stop throwing that paper around," and I'm like, I didn't know what a Tasmanian devil was when I was little. So I'm like, I'll sit here like, okay, I'm a Tasmanian devil, sure. And then that day, Taz just stuck with me till I got older. And then I got to music. I started making beats. So it was like my call was Tazzy Beats or stuff like that. And then next thing you know, to the B part, which it stands for black, is because of the clothes I would wear. I would always wear black every time I do when I was at an event or something like that. Then I started getting DJing around 2006, a little bit after I started with Days. Yeah, it was like, it just became the DJ Black Tazzy, and then next thing you know, I gotta shorten this up a little bit. So it was also became DJ B-Tazzy, and I still do the DJing. I was off and on between 2006 and 2012, and I had some. I'll be honest with you, some relationship problems with girls. So
haven't we all
been there, my friend, been there.
So it had me stop. I had to sell my equipment a little bit a couple times, and then in 2013, me and my cousin DJ B-OK, we decided to get back into it again, and we started slowly doing like hip hop concerts and stuff like that, and then we started to get this called a DJ camp, where we have about 5 DJs now together, and we're like kind of like the promoter / DJs, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. And I did clubs. I did adult clubs, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Oh yeah, I get you.
And I still do the clubs, but right now we can't do any clubs right now. So
yeah,
hopefully by next year we'll be back smooth and going again. It's been hard. I've been trying to do like doing the DJ live on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yep.
They always cut you off if you play the wrong song. so yeah, it's like, yeah, I love DJing. I miss it, but we'll get back into it so probably sometime next year, baby.
Well, there you go. So now everybody's going to know the meaning behind the name. So that's awesome. There you go, man. Yeah, the few times that I've done it and stuff recently, I love doing it as well. I mean, it's completely changed from when I would do it when I worked in the radio station years ago, because obviously the equipment and everything like that, my goodness, you can take if I go do like a party or a wedding for somebody, you basically can take an iPad. Hook the iPad up to your equipment and you're off. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. I mean, obviously, I don't have the turntables and all that kind of stuff with me, but yeah, I mean, just for something small, it's like, it's super easy to do it now.
Yeah, when I first started, I just missed the vinyls. I just missed it.
Oh,
and
okay.
it went to the CDJs.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, CDJs, okay, cool. I like these. I can just, And then it got into the controllers. I'm like, oh, this is really easy now. Like, okay. And then you can start doing stuff on the computer. I'm like, you mean I don't have to carry nothing but a controller and a computer? Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. I've watched videos, and I like watching stuff with new music, and I watched videos. There was a guy that literally does DJing and stuff out of a van. This guy like is inside of a van, and one of the things he uses is a Nintendo Joy-Con from not the Switch, but the system before. I'm like, are you serious? Like he just sits there with that Nintendo joystick, and that's how he controls everything. I'm like, that's insane.
It's very insane. I'm like, I see some crazy stuff. I see people. Yeah, I see people use PS4s.
Yeah.
Like how you do that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, like what you can do with music now and stuff like that. I of course I'm a big I know I had you going the other day on your cooking show with the new edition stuff, because obviously I'm a big 80s buff, and I love. I mean, there's even music coming back now. They call it synthwave, which it's basically 80s music, and they're just kind of doing. They're using drum machines, they're using keyboards and all that kind of stuff again. So I just dig all that stuff. But yeah, I had a DJ going, Jeff, a little new edition the other day.
You know what? I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
He brought up a new edition song, or no, Bobby Brown. That's what it was. He brought up Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown, yeah.
There you go.
And then I hit him with some "If It Isn't Love" by New Edition, and yeah, we
are classics.
I know. That's
here's the funny part. Huh?
That's awesome, man. I'm blown away right now. Some Bobby Brown, New Edition, some Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant. Come on now, come on.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
That's my wheelhouse.
It's crazy because when I grew up. Well, when I grew up, like I told you, when I was with my late godmother. That's all we do. It's like, hey, you want to listen to music? She got the vinyl and she played it. We was on the Thriller album, which is funny because I was little. Now I was little because I was born. I'll be honest with you. I was born in 1983, so I didn't really know anything about music around that time. But I was like, hey, this sounds pretty good. What is this? You know what I mean? And then you get the Bad album, and then I'm from Oakland, California, so everything that's towards Oakland, I love. So like MC Hammer.
Yeah, yep.
That was cool. And then anything that Teddy Riley produced, I actually love. So Johnny Kemp just got paid.
Great song, dude. Great song.
Of course, the new editions and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's great music. Music ain't like what it used to be.
Man, dude, when MC Hammer came out, we were playing a lot of basketball, and man, like I can still remember. This is how bad this is. I can still remember the lyrics. Sweat pouring all over my chest. I don't quit. No, I just sweat harder than I ever did before. We played that song so much when we were playing basketball and stuff like that. I mean, of course, we had our boom boxes out. We were listening to all of that stuff. It's insane. And Michael Jackson's album Thriller was a top to bottom. Like there aren't many albums that were made that have great songs on the entire album. And you can't, you can't turn around and say it has one bad song. And I mean, there aren't many albums that are out there like that. And it is, and to your point with vinyl, I started collecting vinyl again back in 2014. I'm glad I did, because it's way, way expensive now.
Oh yeah.
But I was able to go out and buy stuff for a couple bucks, and I loaded up my collection of vinyl, and it just sounds so much better than the digital stuff. It just does. The original sound of the record and stuff like that, you can't beat it.
I actually found something out about that. I found out, especially with CDs, the more you play the CDs, the less quality sound it is.
Okay.
So say you got like a CD from 2003 or 4, and you're if you play it now, it's probably don't have the same quality as it did back then.
Makes sense.
Found out, I'm like, so why are we buying these CDs?
Yeah. That's a great point. Well, I think it was this past, I think it was 2019, was the first year that vinyl outsold CDs since 1988.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's unbelievable, like how this stuff comes back around. And I know my daughter, she's 16. She when she saw me getting records, she's like, "What are they?" And I'm like, "That's a record, and it has music on it." She's like, "Why would you buy that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I'm old."
I mean, like dude, the vinyls are so good. It's like my brother, who was a big Prince fan. I like Prince too, but he has like all the Prince albums. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
what are you doing?
One of my favorite albums by him, oddly enough, is the soundtrack that he did for Batman with Michael Keaton. Honestly, I love that album. And obviously, I mean, Purple Rain, but that album for some reason just stuck with me because I loved the film when it came out because it was really dark.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Still, honestly, still my favorite Batman. Still my favorite Batman. I like him better than Christian Bale.
It's I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I did too. I knew that was coming on the way.
Yeah.
I know, Richie.
I just had a feeling.
After hearing Wednesday, I'm like, I have a feeling.
And you know what? I'll fight people on that too. So if they want to start a thing with me, I will debate that until the end of time with them. I will debate that. That's one that's close to my heart because if anybody start with me with Bale, I'll be like, why does Batman have to growl? I never understood he doesn't have to growl every time he talks, and it was stupid after a while. So yeah, but that's a story for another time. So let's get into the wrestling stuff, man.
Let's go.
When did you become a wrestling fan?
So I remember this like it was yesterday. I wish it was yesterday, but
don't we all?
So my brother was like, "Hey, come watch this pay-per-view with me." I'm like, "Okay, sure." And I'm looking at it, and it was November. This might give you a hint. It was November on that pay-per-view, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, "Who is this guy with a hat, with a trench coat on, with a with a great title?"
Okay.
I was like, I like him. I like him. And like, ever since then, I was like, yep, I'm watching him. I'm like, this is going to be my favorite wrestler of all time. Who knew?
Yeah, 30 years later.
Who knew? Yeah, it's like him. It was like seeing how his character just went from then till like now. I'm like, I every time I think about it, and like in the documentary, I was like, I have tears in my eye because I saw just about his whole career. It's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it hard to believe. And I was watching SmackDown last night, and I saw, obviously they showed his first appearance, and it's so weird because when I think about that, I remember that as if I was like in my early teens, but it wasn't. I mean, I was in my 20s when he came around, and I was like, it just seems like it should have been longer. Like it seems like it went for a longer time than it did. It just went so fast. And I think you and many others can probably say that they became fans of the sport because of Undertaker. There's no question about it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like, who sees a big guy like even like moves like that? Like, that's incredible. And I remember the quote. Look at that hip hop.
Roddy Piper, baby.
Roddy
Piper. I remember my mom. My mom was there too, and I was like, "They said hip hop. I heard you say hip hop before. what did that mean? like, okay, yeah, okay, we're gonna call him Hawk. And then, of course, it got older. Like, oh.
Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Hot Rod may have said that before. That was one of his terms, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He just the delivery of that one though was so good. I mean, but yeah, he had used that a few times before, but yeah, just that delivery was awesome.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Hot Rod, man. Look at that ham hock. Yeah, gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love Hot Rod.
And what's crazy is the Undertaker, of course, was a heel at the time, and throughout my whole wrestling, I just love heels. I love heels. It's like they could get away with anything, really.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's what I think it's. People always kind of either love the heels or they just love to hate them, and that's how you kind of knew they were doing their job really well. Exactly. Because if you saw someone come on TV, and for me, obviously when Hogan was big, for me to see him go against guys like $1 Million Man, who was an amazing heel, guys like King Kong Bundy, guys like Yokozuna, they just played the part really, really well. And then when Undertaker came in, and I saw again last night, I haven't seen that match in ages. And when I saw him just throwing Bret Hart around like he was a rag doll, and then you're seeing that, and you're like, what is going on here with this guy? So yeah, I totally understand that. Yep.
And just think about some of the names in that match: Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yep.
Dusty Rhodes, Coco Beware, $1 Million Man. I can keep going, but I won't, because I mean it's just amazing,
Oh, that is absolutely spectacular, man. Absolutely. So okay, you got started with Undertaker. So tell me, I mean, obviously we can pretty much deduce that he is your favorite of all time. So we'll spare you that question. What have you seen any live events?
Actually, here's the funny part. This is a good story. We have a place in Oakland, and it's called the Convention Center, right?
Yep.
And my brother was like, "Hey," he didn't tell me where we was going. "Hey, let's go somewhere." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know where you're gonna take me, but sure, let's go." So we go to the building, and we walk on the side of the building, and we look in front of us. Was like, "Dude, you see this? I see this. We see Lex Luger getting out the car."
Oh man!
I was like, "Well, I ain't going near him."
Man.
But that was it was like you see, it was a WCW house show. And I was like,
oh wow, okay.
No, again, I remember Sting. I think Sting is the only face I ever liked. He was one of those guys. I was like, I think he had a cage match. I can't remember who he wrestled, but I just remember everybody was grabbing towards him. It was like, oh, this dude is with the bleached blonde hair and everything. Like this guy.
Yep.
It was.
Yep. Yeah, Sting he was one of the all-time great faces for sure. I mean, when they started up in the 90s and you had the whole NWO thing, I almost passed out, I think, when I saw him come out as the Crow. When he came out as that vigilante Sting with the face paint and the bat, I'm like, oh man. Like, I'd already seen the Crow and I absolutely loved the movie. And then when I saw him come out with that, not many people know this either, but when he came out, there used to be a voice in the background that you heard. It was a girl's voice. Well, that was actually from the Crow. I don't know how they didn't get like in trouble for using that, because it was a girl talking, and it was literally the end, and it's on the Crow soundtrack too, which is funny. But when I heard that, I'm like, oh, he's doing like the whole Crow thing and the revenge angle and everything. I'm like, this is going to be fantastic. And little did I know. I mean, it was absolutely amazing.
That's actually funny, because now I'm thinking about it, like, That's right. I didn't even pick that up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, and I went to actually the last 3 years I've been to a lot of events that actually meant something, which is kind of weird. Start with the 2016 No Mercy, which was Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. That's the first time they ever wrestled against each other.
Oh wow, nice.
So I got to see the interest live in person, and I like Bray before he was in NXT, but it just made me fell in love with him even more that day. It was like, this dude is he has it. I don't know what it is, but he has it. And then going forward, I went to a couple more events, which actually kind of how I found Days, which is kind of funny. I think the 2018 year, I went to the TLC, which Asuka won the title for the first time.
Yep.
Then before that match even happened, there was an advert saying that Vince McMahon is going to be in Raw the next day, which is like an hour away from where I was at. I'm like, you know what? Might as well just go to Raw tomorrow too. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And of course, there you go. We have Vince, Shane, Stephanie. I hope I don't miss nobody. Did I say Shane? Basically, all the authority figures, and it was like, we're not doing our job. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah. Yep. I remember that show. Yep.
Yeah. The funny part about that is before that even happened, JoJo, who was the ring announcer, which is completely hilarious right now, she was like, hey, so we're going to give you guys a Christmas gift because this is around Christmas time. And I was like, oh, where's it? Is it underneath my chair? What we got? You know? and there was like, instead of you 1 Raw, we're going to give you 2 Raws. And normally, you'd be like, okay, yeah, we have another Raw, and then you think about it, it's like, wait a minute, how long Raw?
6 hours. Oh man, that's a long time.
So of course the second Raw is taken, so you're not gonna get the full 3 hours, but 5 hours of Raw.
Well, you got your money's worth.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yep, all right, cool. I'll be home late. And I think the main one I went to, of course, I think I talked to you guys in the chat about this, was the Hell in a Cell, the past Hell in a Cell.
You saw the debacle?
I saw that live in person. So I can give you the backstory on that and everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta spill that now, because I would love to know. I mean, we didn't get to see the reaction of the crowd, so, and I kind of don't think that I heard about it. I heard that, you know, the boos, and I heard people like booed Seth out of the building, and I heard there was a lot. Yeah, so you got to spill that, man, and let us know what happened.
So first, I'm like, okay. We are expecting Bray to win or something like that. Yeah. We're expecting him to win. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got my shirt. You know, I got my new Bray Wyatt shirt, whatever. And we get there, and I'm like, if you guys know, if everybody knows how the arena is set up, I was on this side of the stage. So this, by the way, is the same time they actually start back shooting the fireworks again.
Okay. Yep.
So when the opening popped up, when he did the opening, like, this is Hell in a Cell or whatever, scared the mess out of me. Wasn't expecting fireworks, so like I completely forgot. But like that whole night, even the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch Hell in a Cell, it was great. It was great in person. It was probably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. Probably top 5, and we had some bad Hell in a Cell matches.
Oh yeah.
But getting to that match, of course, you have Steph coming into the ring and whatever, and then you got the Fiend, which that interest live in person is unbelievable.
I can imagine.
It's like, if you guys have a chance, as soon as we get back to getting crowds again, and you guys have a chance to go see him in person, Please go see him in person. But he had the entrance. He had the entrance. He was in the in the Hell in a Cell, and I like waiting for the lights to go and then come back on. So I like sitting here like, okay, I forgot to turn on the lights. What's going on? And apparently they leave the red lights on. I'm like, okay, this is not good in a way because the cell is already red. And now you got red on top of red. I'm like, I can't see.
Was it that hard to so while we're on that topic, because obviously we talked about this, and a lot of people had said how hard it was to see, especially if you were in the building. So was it really hard to make that out?
I think it because of the cell. I think it was a little bit harder. I think if the cell wasn't there, I think I went to a bit like in February, this past February, and he's in a dark match, and it was perfect with the red lights.
Okay.
So with the cell though, I can't see nothing.
Oh man.
But yeah, so of course you see what happened, the whole debacle with the sledgehammer and everything like that, and everybody's gonna get each other like, what just happened?
Oh jeez.
Remind you, I don't know anybody knows Sacramento crowd. Probably the wrong crowd to actually do that in front of. This is the Sacramento Kings crowd, and they are rabid. So next thing you know, it was bad AEW chants.
Oh no.
I guess although you remember when the Fiend got up and whatever, like start the match and everything, like, yeah, start the match. Yeah, come on.
Oh.
And then, of course, the whole outside the ring thing happened, and the Fiend goes away, and I think that's when they cut it off.
Yep.
So after everything is, all you hear is BS AEW. I feel like I would have to. I'll probably have to fight my way out of the arena. That's how bad it got. It's like, what just happened? Bad idea. And I heard that Vince McMahon was laughing on the backstage. I wouldn't be laughing.
That's the rumor. Yeah, that was actually a rumor after it happened. I mean, they were saying that people were throwing crap at Seth like outside the arena, like the waiting when they were leaving. I guess they said they were throwing stuff at him and everything like that. So yeah, I imagine that was an absolute mess.
Yeah, I'll say it. I blame Vince for that.
Yeah, look, I mean, now things start to come out about things. I mean, now you hear that they had footholds put in that cage because originally, I guess the whole thing was Vince wanted them to be on top of the cage, and he wanted the Fiend to get tossed off the top of the cage and through a table.
I don't think Ray would do that.
Yeah. So I mean that was the way it was supposed to end, and then someone talked them out of ending it that way, and then they ended up just getting that screwy finish that it ended up getting.
I mean, jeez. I mean, I know everybody thinks Bray Wyatt is the next Mick Foley, but jeez.
I don't exactly think that would have been a good way to start his career. Yeah, no.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Oh man, well that's awesome. Well, there you go. You get some inside story about the one of the most controversial matches to come along in a while. So there you go.
Controversial. I didn't get a drink after that.
I'm sure you weren't the only one. Everybody, even the people that watched it on TV at home, were stunned, I think, by what happened, and then how they just tried to make you forget about it. Like during the next few nights, they didn't even mention it. And it's like, okay.
It's crazy because I was able to get Dave's stream at the same time.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at him while everything going on, and his face is like priceless.
Yep.
I was like, yep, that's exactly how I feel.
He's always had some amazing expressions sometimes when he just sit there with his mouth open, and you kind of know that he's just like stunned by what he saw. So yeah, absolutely. I remember that being one of the most bewildered things I've ever seen him with, and then when Oldberg beat him for the belt. And I was at work during that, so I had no idea what happened until somebody came out. I just got done eating lunch. So I was back out on the floor, and somebody I know that's a big fan of wrestling came out and told me, he goes, "You're never going to believe what happened." And I'm like, "What?" And because I had a funny feeling that he was going to lose. And then he tells me he got squashed and lost.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He said he beat him with like 4 spears and then a really bad, ugly jackhammer. So I'm like, oh. So I went back later when I left work that day and threw on the stream, and I saw Daze's expression, like the bewildered look on his face, just sitting there and like in this total disbelief of what just happened. Yeah, like it's priceless. Yeah.
It was a mess. I was in the stream that night, that day, and it was like, all right, how you gonna fix this?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like it just, when you know something's going as good as that was going with him, like how do you make the decision to do that? But well, you know what, Vince is Vince, and he's gonna do what he wants to do until he can't do it anymore.
I can't wait till that happens.
You and a lot of other people, man. Look, I mean, he's done amazing things for the sport, and I mean, you can't deny it. And he honestly, when you talk about heels, he's right up there. I mean, he's right up there on the top of the list as a heel in the sport, and how he basically made Stone Cold's career and guys like that. So I mean, you got to give him props, but I just think that he's at the point where, and who knows, maybe now with the creative the way they are and how they have it set up and stuff, maybe that's his way of kind of pulling away a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that's the case. Although I read another article today, a little bit earlier before the show, that Undertaker, the whole break glass emergency thing, when they saw the ratings from last night's SmackDown, apparently went up because of the whole Undertaker tribute. Well, now they're saying that Vince may be breaking that glass a little sooner than anyone had imagined or thought. So
SummerSlam.
The poor guy, man. He wants to walk away, and they just don't let him. Like he said in last ride, they just pull him back in. He goes out and they just pull him back in, man. That's
so. Like, let him go.
Yeah, I know. Let the poor guy retire. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like, I mean, you have somebody in the wings to be that type of person. So just stop booking him carefully and just let the other go into the sunset.
Yes, and no better way to do it. Jeff, I'm going to let you go, man. I'm sure you've got some questions for Tazzy yourself, so take it over, man.
I do, and it has absolutely nothing to do with wrestling.
Oh, there you go.
I have a feeling what this
is. Yeah, because we kind of talked about this at one point, but I gotta find out first what got you into cooking.
So here's a good story. So my mom and my dad, of course, still together. Shout out to that. But they worked a lot. Like they'll get up early in the morning, and then they'll come home at night. So it got to the point that I was like, "Hey, you want me to teach you how to cook?" I was like, "I don't have no problem with that. All that I do when I get home from school is go do homework, and that's it." So she was like, "Okay, let me show you this." So first we start with hamburgers. Classic. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I made some classic burgers. And then it turned into, steaks and stuff like that. Something small. And then when I got older, I started just getting to more and more different kinds of creative ingredients and stuff like that. So shout out to moms.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, so many. Where to start? It's what's funny about that. the one I did this past Monday, I cooked the spaghetti, that special spaghetti. I call it the Tazzy spaghetti, quote unquote. Uh, um, so basically, it's right. I made my own spaghetti sauce, and I used the noodles. So I don't know if you guys saw the video.
Rigatoni, you like, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also because, like I said, it's also because you get to taste the sauce inside of the noodles. So it's like, oh, this is perfect. And then I do have other ones I use. Actually, the macaroni and cheese. Actually, here's the funny part: the macaroni and cheese I cooked a couple weeks ago. That's the first time I put flaming hot Cheetos on top.
Oh, there you go.
And I ain't gonna lie, my mouth was burning. I didn't lie because I actually put jalapeno peppers on top too. So,
oh boy,
there you go. There you go.
Different. I love doing the macaroni and cheese because you can do so much with macaroni and cheese. Like you can actually put ground beef inside if you want to. You can you can do so much. I can turn it into a pepper jack mac and cheese if I want to. It's so much stuff you can do with mac and cheese, and I think that's because I grew up with it. Because my dad's from the South, my mom, of course, her parents is from the South too, and they're soul food. So mac and cheese is like well known. You know what I mean? It's
a staple. It's definitely a staple.
Exactly.
In Southern cuisine. So we talked a little bit about you had mentioned before that you were still trying to perfect the craft of barbecuing and doing like pulled pork and that kind of stuff. It sounds like there's a story there with that.
So I get everything good, but I have this problem with pork, anything like thick pork or anything like that. So if I make thick pork, it turns I gotta say this, tough.
Yeah, gotcha.
So every time I get like the knife won't cut or anything like that, I'll be like looking at it like I'm gonna break this knife. And I don't know if I'm cooking it too fast or cooking it too slow. I mean, looking at YouTube videos and like, what am I doing wrong? I was like, I don't want to like get ready to bake it, and then I'm doing on the show, and it'd be like,
So like, what temperature do you normally cook it at? Like, what do you normally?
Normally, I get 350.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm cooking it too short. I can't remember how long I cook it for. I don't know if I'm cooking it too short or too long. That's partly what it is. But yeah.
Gotcha. Even with if you take the temperature down a little bit, low and slow, with pork is always the best. Is always the best method. I'm actually cooking a pork tenderloin right now.
Oh, look at that! There you go.
So I've got it in the crock pot. It's been going since about 10:30 this morning, and so low and slow, and I'm not bragging here, but I actually cut it with a spoon.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
was gonna chime in there because I know when my wife makes like pulled chicken or pork, she puts it in a crock pot too. So you gotta get yourself a crock pot, man. I think that's the way to go because literally you let that you put it in the morning, you let that go all day long, and then by the time you come home, it literally you get a fork and it just falls right apart.
It falls apart. Yep. And if you want to make, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but pulled pork in the crock pot is so good. And what I normally do is I'll take a little bit of, and since your parents are from the South, you probably know about this, but I take a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Ooh.
And I put that in the crock pot. I'll put the pork in there, and then I'll let it go for about an hour. And then I'll get a Coca-Cola. like a 20-ounce Coca-Cola, and you pour the 20-ounce Coca-Cola in there, and you let it go for the rest of the day, like, for several hours. And then once you do that, it like falls apart. It's got all of this flavor. And then you take some ketchup, you put it in there, and however you want to do your own barbecue sauce.
Mhm.
And by the time it's all done, I mean, it's like you're eating, traditional pulled pork from down here in the South. It's delicious.
You know what's funny about the Coca-Cola thing? I actually have on my list of things to cook in the future. It's a Coca-Cola chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this Coca-Cola chicken. I like granted, I don't drink soda like that. Like I only use it for like special occasions with cocktails or stuff like that. but to do it like different. I mean, my barbecue sauce has root beer in it. I don't know if you guys saw that. The root beer flavored barbecue sauce. I'm like, oh, this is good. You're like, who told it was make good stuff?
I think the soda actually gives it will. I mean, all the amount of sugar that's in a soda probably helps to
Breaks
make it
down.
that way. Yeah. So, I mean, my parents always made stuff with like my mom still to this day when she makes ham, like for Easter or for a holiday, she'll use ginger ale or 7-Up. To base the ham with. So that's like a big thing. It's like a traditional thing.
Huge. Yeah. I think the other thing I want to learn how to cook. I mean, I'm this close to get it perfection like my mom, but the banana pudding.
Oh. Oh man, banana pudding. Oh goodness. Listen. You give me some. You give me banana pudding or you give me peach cobbler.
Oh.
And I'm like I'm done. I'm done for. I'm done.
I'll be waiting for like Christmas. I don't know how Christmas gonna be this year, but I be so juiced with the peach cobbler, banana pudding, and sweet potato pie.
Yes.
I'm really glad I ate lunch right before this. We said we were going to start talking about. I mean, look, Tazzy, that I'll tell you. I'll be honest. That show you do it was a great idea because I mean you got the idea from you named it a tailgate. So I mean that's such a huge thing, and of course now with your sports background, I can completely understand where you got that from because in America that's such a huge thing where people will get up to games. Like I went to Penn State, and I know colleges are famous for this. Like when you go to a college game, man, that's an all-day affair. You get up at 8:00 in the morning and you get there at 9, and you're there from sometimes 9 until the game starts, and even if it starts at 4:00. So those guys are out there in their tailgates making breakfast, and then they're making lunch, and then they're that's all you do. You stand around, you cook, you have a drink, you wait for the game to start, and then you go in, and I mean it's such a big thing. So I mean, kudos to you for the idea. It was a really really good idea, man.
It's crazy because all I remember, like my younger years and my teen years, is me, my brother, and my cousins. We before it even start, we talk about what's going on with before it happens, like before the wrestling starts, and we're cooking. So I'm like, tailgate party for a TV show sounds really awesome right now.
Yeah. Great idea, man.
And with that, and then the whole after party was like, hey, might as well just do an after party too. It was like more because I'm from the West Coast here. When we watch Raw, it starts at 5 here. So by the time Raw is over and everything like that, we're sitting here like, so what do we do now?
I would be like, I've never been to California. I've been as far west as Vegas and Colorado. And I can remember being out there, like, it's so screwed up. Like, if you're not there for a long period of time, man, you get really the time lag and the difference between the two. I just remember coming home and I was like, I was beat because you're so used to going to bed at a certain time. Right. And then, you see when the times all changed out there. Yeah. So I I don't know how you do it. It's really weird. I can completely understand that. Like your body really have to get used to that.
Yeah, it's crazy because everything like wrestling or like even the pay per views like the UFC and stuff like that. We get early in the day, so
Yeah.
like to sit here like afterwards, we're like, so would you guys want to go do that?
Yeah, because I can understand that because like then you guys would be getting like our late night stuff. So like the talk shows and that kind of stuff, you'll be getting those at like prime time. Yeah, at like 8 o'clock at night. So and then I mean, I don't I stay up late. I'm up till 1, 2 in the morning sometimes. If I was doing that out by you, there'd probably be nothing on TV but like infomercials. So it's like, what the hell are you gonna do? It's like you don't have anything to watch.
It's crazy because like even people out here, they was like, hey, you should do a show for like an after party or something like that. So I'm like, all right, It's like so like it's kind of smart because when you watch the NFL Network or something like that, you always have that early show, and then you got the main show, and then you got the show after the show. So my thing was, let me do a pre-show before you guys, the insiders, come on, and then have and then dates come on, and then afterwards I'll talk about everything that happened throughout the day.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, so much tends to happen not only on the regular show, but then like you said, you're hearing stuff from other streams and everything too. So it just gives y'all that much more to talk about. So that's
last night.
Oh man, no, it's a great idea. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I think it's always funny too because cooking is unpredictable. Like you were saying, if something happens with something that you're making, and like you're like, oh man, well, this didn't exactly go as I planned. So it's but I mean, look, it's funny. You have to have a sense of humor about it, and just enjoying it and stuff like that. So. So let me ask you about a couple, and I don't want to go here a lot because man, there's been such heavy stuff going on with wrestling lately, and all the stuff with everything going on now. I mean, what's your take on the the general? I guess is to sum it all up without getting too specific. I mean, what's your take on the general feeling about wrestling right now? I mean, I know it's and now we don't know. We're in limbo maybe about with COVID and WWE, and obviously it messed up the SmackDown tapings last night. And I mean, what's your general take on that and everything that's going around and everything? I mean, how do you try as a person like yourself to just try to stay positive with it and stuff. I mean, I was even talking to a couple people about what they're going to do if something happens where, let's say, WWE has to take a break and they're like, you know what, we got to shut it down for a couple of months because we just can't keep going. So, it's like, what are we all going to do? We all going to do like streams of, I don't know, watching movies or streams of playing like old Nintendo games, or what are we going to do?
Well, that's where the point where I probably would have to hit you guys up. Like, we were going to have to just come together to do a show together or something. And like, just thinking so. I mean, between all of us, we can think of something. But good for the people that's speaking out. I think it's awesome that they're not scared or anything like that. Granted, I don't know how to word this and make sure it's politically correct or whatever. But just good for the people that's speaking out. And it's kind of suck because you see some of the talent that's actually getting exposed. Like, I'll be honest with you, the Velveteen Dream, and it's like, dude, that was basically the next NFC champion right there. But that was like, all right, well, I guess we'll go to the next one. But good for the people, the men and women that's coming out and speaking up, and that. As for the testing, like I said, Vince McMahon should be ashamed of himself. Like, just to not test every day. Like I said, baseball, they're actually doing the right job of actually testing when they're going to test us every other day. And like I respect that because I don't want to get sick. So, and for them to not help their protect their roster, and even the people in the backstage and everything like that. It's shame on Vince McMahon for that.
Yeah.
And the people that surround him should have told him, like, "Hey, we need to start testing and stuff like that." That's so shame on Triple H. I can go through the list, but you know, I mean, it's
It's crazy, man. Well, now, like I said, I pointed this out to Jeff last night during the show. And now you see people in the audience are wearing masks. Yep. So why wasn't that happening before? I mean, you know, I get it. I don't know. Maybe he was like, well, we don't want them to project that they're sent. But look, that's our world now. Mm-hmm. So wrestling has always followed our lives. I mean, when you've seen things going on in the world, it usually reflects through wrestling, no matter what it is. And, you know, what's wrong with having people in that audience, whether they're from the Performance Center or not, wearing masks? I mean, it's only going to – look, when kids watch wrestling, they're seeing their heroes, right? They're seeing their role models and people that they look up to. So if they're looking in that crowd and they're seeing people with the masks on, isn't it logical thinking that it's going to be like, hey, you know, let me make sure that I'm wearing this and I'm not going to complain about it because I watched it on TV and they are doing it too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, because I think we're getting a huge spike, especially here in California. We're getting Wednesday was like 5,000. The next day, I'm not trying to bring the show down, but you know, Friday we had about another 6,000, and I think we lost 101. So it's like we need to find a way to let the younger people, not say I'm old or anything, but we need to like find a way to like tell like, hey, we need to have you guys stay home, and this is why I'm worried about all the sports that's trying to come back, because I don't know what's going to happen when everybody get tested.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, you heard about the NFL starting up their training camps and stuff like that, and you're already hearing people getting it from there. I mean, it's going to be really tough. And I mean, what's the right call? You know, it's so hard to say. You know, should people have waited longer? Should people have not waited? It's so, you know, it's such uncertain times. You just don't know what the right call is. I don't think anyone knows what the right call is until there comes a point in time where there's a vaccine out for this finally, and then obviously, you know, things can kind of hopefully get back to normal. But yeah, it's been tough. I you know, obviously we have Gary Cassidy that's on our show has been doing stuff nonstop. You know, between one bad report and another bad report, it just always seems like it's just bad news. So yeah, but I guess, you know, it's finally hit the wrestling world. I was listening to Busted Open the other day, and they were talking about that, and I think Bully Ray made a comment saying that the only constant through all this, he said, you know, TV shows were shut down, movies were shut down, you know, sports were shut down. He's like, the only constant in all this has been wrestling. And you know, they don't take days off. They, you know, that people don't realize that they're not off anytime. Maybe a week after Christmas or so, but other than that, they're doing all year round. So you know, that's why some people now are just saying maybe it's time for them to do that. Maybe just say, look, we need a month, we need a couple weeks or a couple months, and we just need to get past this. And then we'll just come back and we'll be better than ever when we come back.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I miss a lot of these. Like, of course, going to like DJ in the clubs, even going to the movies, probably watching Deadpool. Now just like never stop.
No.
Like I miss going to like stuff like just to go outside, don't have to worry about nothing. I'm so looking forward to when they get this vaccine done. And we can just go somewhat back to normal until, you know, so we can get rid of this virus and everything, wherever this thing is. Yeah. But all you gotta do is stay positive. That's the only thing you can do right now.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true, man. That's very true. Jeff, do you have anything else for Tazzy?
I do have one more question.
Oh shoot! Come on, let's go.
And it's related to food again, so I'm sorry. I didn't eat yet, so Joe, I'm hungry. What's if you could give our listeners a quick little recipe of anything like a dip or something like that. Just a quick little recipe that they can quickly whip up.
Oh yeah. A chili. All you have to do is if you look up, if you go to the store, you find it. You see, it'll say chili. It'll just have the beans, and then you have if you have turkey or ground beef, you can put that in there, and that's really the only thing you need, really. Um, let's see. That's basically it. You get the chili. You get the chili. It's already when the beans are is when the beans is actually already in the chili. I mean, when it says chili, but it's just beans, and then you have turkey or ground beef or whatever. You can just put it in there, and you're done. You can actually use it as a dip. Get your favorite Tostitos or whatever chips you want. Just dip it and just put some cheese on top. it's that's one easy one. If you guys want like fish or something like that, a salmon is really easy to cook. All you gotta do is just make sure you put some lemon and some honey on top, and you're good. You just put it in the oven for 350.
There you go.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, other than, obviously we know about your 2 shows that you have. Tell everybody out there what you've got coming up. I know you mentioned it a little bit on your stream last night, but, tell all our viewers out there what you've got coming up and how you're planning to move forward with your show, especially now that you're going back to work.
So basically, it's going like this. If everybody knows, I'm solo on both shows now, so it has to be that way because I can just put the stuff out for whatever I can. It's just me and just get it done. So that's be straightforward. The other thing is I'm not sure what the schedule is next week. So the tailgate party for Monday will be pre-recorded, and the night version of it, more likely will be live because we should be done mid-afternoon unloading the truck for the equipment, and then it'll be the same thing for Friday. So part of it will be I know I did this in the chat in our community chat. I was trying to find something for July 3rd, but I'm not sure what the schedule is. Also, but more likely, I will have the schedule. Once I get the schedule, I will let you know what shows will be pre-recorded and what shows will be live. And so, all I gotta say is make sure you click that bell if you're subscribed.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome, man. Well, tell everybody where they can find you, obviously, other than your YouTube channel. Let them know if you're what other social media they can look for you on, so that they can find out where they can see this stuff, man.
Yeah, of course. Twitter will be DJ B-Tazzy. So it's one full thing. It's DJ B-Tazzy. And on the Instagram, I got the official DJ B-Tazzy _. The reason for that is apparently somebody is trying to take my account away or something. So I said official because I am the official DJ. Nobody has that name, so
Right.
There you go.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, hey, there you go. So listen, we talked a little bit of everything. We talked baseball, we talked cooking, we talked wrestling, we talked a little bit of everything. Man, that's awesome. So guys, look, check out his shows if you haven't already. Like I said, the tailgate party that he does, he will do some cooking and stuff beforehand, and then shortly after that, he goes into his preview show, which previews the wrestling event that comes on, and then the after party show that he does. Obviously, like you said, reviews kind of all of the current day, what happened on the show, what happened in some of the streams, etc. So, yeah, definitely check out DJ B-Tazzy, and you won't be disappointed, and maybe you'll learn some cooking skills along the way. So there you go.
I hope so.
There you go, man. Well, that's awesome, buddy. Listen, as always, we thank you for coming on. We had a great time talking about stuff today, and look forward to see what you got coming out, and wish you all the best with going back and working with the baseball team, man.
Yeah, like I said, looking forward to the season. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Once again, congratulations on 700. I hope you guys get to 1,000 ASAP and make me have hope.
Oh, listen, man. Well, congrats to you, because I know I was in the stream when you got your first 50 followers.
Shocked. I was like impressed. Like that's in 3 weeks. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, I didn't think nobody liked the show like that, but I guess I was wrong.
There you go. I know. That's awesome, man. Well, yeah, congrats to you too, and hopefully, like everybody we talk to, we see great things for you as well, and you continue to grow your audience also, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like going through the year and real quick. As soon as the season's over, I will be going back fully live. Just be patient with me. We'll be going back live right after the baseball season.
There you go. So you heard it here first. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, again, we really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, buddy, and we will see you around the internet.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take care, man. Thanks.